Hello everybody, I'm going to be making a very quick video on 5 simple things that you can do to make yourself a better wizard. So these are things that are really easy to implement into your playstyle that will net you a really big benefit and end up winning you those 1v1s or 3v3s or even 2v2s, whatever it may be, where you're playing as a wizard and you want to get more value out of the way you play. So starting off, during an engage, you usually want to start off by hasting your teammates, buffing, using your haste. A lot of people will sleep on it. It still gives you 10% spellcasting speed, it gives you 5% movement speed, and another 10% action speed. So it's really important that your uptime on haste is super high, because you have 5 of them. You're rarely ever going to, go through all of them, as normally a fight is over after using 3 or even 4. They're really quick to get back. So as sort of like a tempo and as sort of like a must to an engage, always try and haste yourself. It really can make the difference in a fight. If a rogue is on you, for example, and you haste yourself, it lasts 8 seconds. So let's say a rogue jumps on you in the start of a fight. You can kind of run back, use that haste to your advantage, put your book away, kite until you make enough space, or if they silence you, to wait for that debuff to pop off. That's really important. Number 2, it's really important that you're paying attention to how you invis, right? The way that I invis before an engage or even trying to disengage is really important, because normally people will try and predict where you're going. So what I always try to do is I try to make the most unpredictable movement possible. If they think I'm, for example, moving forward, right? Like I'm W keying, I'm going to invis myself, then I'm going to start walking straight backwards. I'll try and minimize my hitbox. So what I'll do is I'll look down and I'll try to move back or move in a pattern or move in a direction where my after image, 1, won't show. And 2, whenever I get out of invis, I'm going to be in a spot where they can't really see me, where I'm out of their line of sight. So I can free cast a spell on them, maybe even pop a slow. Get that time to make space, to create yourself a situation where they're going to need to spend considerably more time looking for you and finding you than if you were to just invis and then run W key, right? A thing I see a lot happening with wizards in general, after seeing a ton of clips and a ton of videos, most wizards, what they'll do is they will invis themselves and then just keep running straight in a very predictable straight line, and that will get you killed. A lot of people will predict where you're going, and they will definitely be shooting at you, or they will definitely be, using a spell. And I even have some examples of that. For example, I have good examples and I have bad examples where somebody was W keying and I just knew exactly where they were going, or where they kind of made their movement a little bit less predictable. So they bait an after image, for example, and then leave a room.
I'm on the bar.
This is one.
This home over. I'm gonna start.
Don't see the rogue, by the way.
Was it dead? Or they will invis and then go behind me using S key and kind of making a little bit of a play. Moving on to the next tip, I see a lot of people trying to only go for direct fireball hits, or only going for really low percentage hit chance shots, like far shots, whatever. If you're trying to hit somebody from far away, try and aim kind of at their feet, right? That splash damage is still really good poke, and it's going to do damage to them. If they have a cleric, they're going to get healed, and it's going to be 50% reduced healing, meaning that not only are you wasting the cleric's heals, but they're less effective, but you're also not risking that 1 out of 4 spell that you have, right? Because you only have 4 fireball charges. You're not risking it to get 0 value out of it, and you're sort of guaranteeing yourself value from it, right? So a big tip that I can give is try and predict where their feet are going to be. Aim for them, unless you know for a fact that you're going to be able to hit that shot. Like if you know that you can hit that direct shot, they're right next to you, you're really confident in it, go for it. Otherwise, try and go for the splash. It's really good poke damage, and the anti-heal is super good value. You're wasting cleric's heals. There's absolutely no reason to try and go for that direct hit if you don't need to. You'll win the fight anyways, and in fact, you'll actually probably get more pressure, more value out of trying to be more consistent rather than just hitting those like sort of money shots. Moving on to the next tip I can give you. One of the biggest counters to wizards is going to be rangers, in other wizards and also warlocks to a degree, right? So whenever you're trying to push a ranger or whenever you're trying to push another wizard, it's really, really important that you learn the cast times of spells, right? When I'm facing another wizard, I know when his spell is about to go off. And I'll even show some examples of that where you can kind of see, oh, this is where I know he's about to zap me. Boom, let me look down. Let me kind of move around in a less predictable way so that I can get them to waste their spell. And then as I'm looking down, I'm charging mine to look back up and hit them with it. So I'm kind of out-tempoing them. I'm outpacing them with my spells. It's really important that you're trying to dodge those. As for arrows, it's the same thing, right? Like, I know when somebody's going to shoot an arrow. I can hear that bow being drawn back. I can hear the triple shot being shot. I have many clips where I'll move back and forth, back and forth. I'll be able to dodge an arrow. I'll just jump over it, or I'll look down just as it's flying across my head. It's super, super important that you're trying to pace yourself. You're trying to dodge those arrows coming at you. Don't just W key. Don't even just A and D, right? Like, don't just W and then hold A, W, hold D, kind of like making your movement more sporadic. Try and reduce your hitbox. The way this game works is by looking down, your hitbox is smaller. And the smaller the hitbox is, the harder it is for them to hit you. And finally, one of the last and one of the most important skills to learn on a wizard that will make you play instantly way better than anybody else is what I like to call the jump tech, okay? So whenever you're in the air, you're not getting the negative movement speed for casting spells. So whenever you're casting a spell, you always want to try and min-max that and make sure if you're pushing somebody, you're not losing speed by just holding W key and then casting that spell, but by jumping right as you're about to cast. But in this video, I'll probably show a few examples of me doing that. But it's really, really important that what you're doing is as soon as you're jumping, you're casting that spell, so you're not losing any of that movement speed. On landing, you do have a little bit of a penalty, but you're way faster. Like, you notice the difference between casting while just holding W key and then holding right click to cast that spell versus jumping and then casting the spell. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video helps you to become a better wizard, and I appreciate all of you. Have a nice day.